Ladies and gentlemen, I am back for the second video today on the Big Fight Field channel. Tonight we are talking about NXT Takeover 31 preview and predictions. This is the least I've ever been excited for an NXT Takeover, just for the base off the build, but the card is looking very nice. I'm looking forward to Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship, and I'm looking forward to Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. We'll break down all 5 matches in this preview and predictions video here tonight for you guys on the channel. But ladies and gentlemen, I have a special guest on this channel here tonight. He is a very loyal member of the Big Fight Field channel. He is a part of the same team I am over on bodyslam.net. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Cameron from bodyslam.net. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, Joe? What's going on, fans of Big Fight Field? Excited to be on the channel, talk some takeover predictions. Let's get to it.
I'm excited to have you on, man. We do have takeover this week. The build has been not so great in my opinion, but the card looks good. What are your thoughts on this takeover coming up?
I agree with you. This is the least I've been excited for a takeover in a long time, just based on the build, because it's not like NXT for them to have a show practically at the end of the month and then come back right. And then come back right at the start of a brand new one, for this one to be so close to the last takeover. If that makes any sense. We usually get about a good 32 months bill worth of takeover here, but this was just very thrown together, it feels like. But we have a pretty exciting card here, so takeover should be good. And takeover's almost guaranteed to be a good show.
Yeah, if there's one thing that NXT gets correct every single time, it is indeed takeover. But before we talk about takeover, I want to give a couple shout outs to the new website that myself and Cameron work for over at bodyslam.net. How are you liking Bodyslam so far, man?
I'm liking it so far, man. I'm loving it. I like it. I'm loving it. I'm glad I'm getting this opportunity. I like everybody involved, and hopefully this website goes somewhere. I can make a living off of that, because I do not like being in school.
Nah, me neither. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give a couple shout outs to the boss man, Chris Dez. Shout out to Chris. He is the reason that that we are a part of bodyslam.net. Chris, shout out to you. Shout out to Faz. He's been helping me through bodyslam.net with reviews and results. Shout out to Stuart Lawson, Gary Tate, Ryan Damon, Dom Malone, Anthony Wade, Mike. Shout out to Mike, man. I'm a big fan of Mike. Dave Dineza, Dean Riley, Chad Chatterson, and Brenna. So shout out to all of them for being a part of this, for making me be a part of this amazing team. And you can go read some of Cameron's articles as well. Tell him an article that you did over on the website.
An article I did on Bodyslam not too long ago was giving my thoughts on Nikki Cross, and why Nikki Cross might be the most reliable woman they have on the roster today, outside from your typical Bayley, Sasha's, Charlotte, and Asuka's. I want to throw a little love to Nikki Cross because I thought she deserved it. So you can check that out on bodyslam.net if you want to.
Go check that out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any time. Let's get into the takeover preview and predictions. First match we're going to talk about is the only match that's not for a championship, and that is Kushida versus the Velveteen Dream. Now, this feud started on the August 12th edition of NXT when Velveteen Dream lost a match, and he indeed attacked Kushida, and then they've been going at it ever since. Velveteen Dream does not feel the same while returning with the whole speaking out movement. As you guys all know, we're not going to get into full depth of that. But the Velveteen Dream is going up against a Kushida. And the past couple of weeks, we have seen a more aggressive side of Kushida. And the Velveteen Dream said last night, whatever Kushida we get at TakeOver, the spotlight will always be on the Velveteen Dream. I think this is going to be a good match. I expect this match to open the show. Kushida is so good. I'm happy he is getting a spot on TakeOver. And I am taking Kushida to get this victory. I don't think the Velveteen Dream needs a victory at all. Kushida desperately needs a victory as he hasn't really been in any title picture lately. He hasn't even fought for a championship in NXT. I think if Kushida gets a victory here over Velveteen Dream, that would be nice for him. That could slide him into possibly a North American title match down the road. But I'm going with Kushida. Cameron, the floor is yours. Who do you got for this match and why?
I got Kushida. I have Kushida winning. I have Kushida getting the win here. To me, it's very weird with Kushida because, NXT is usually one of those brands. NXT is that brand when they bring in somebody from the independent scene or they bring in somebody from another promotion. We usually don't go, okay, well, how's this guy going to do? We go, okay, this guy's going to be a big star. How long until he goes to the main roster and he's just completely fucked up? But with Kushida, they haven't really done anything with Kushida, and I do not know why that's the case. They haven't done anything with him in terms of showcasing him on TV. When he is on TV, it feels like the guy. When he is on TV, it feels like the guy always loses. Feels like the guy always loses. I'm shocked that they didn't give Alex Shelley a contract off and have them reform the Time Splitters. So Kushida, it's weird that they haven't really done anything with him, but I'm glad they're doing something to him now. He's getting this match with the Dream. Kushida, I think Kushida wins here. Velveteen Dream is a dead goose. He is a dead duck. I hate to say that, but, based off everything that's happened to him, nobody is ever going to like the Dream again based off the accusations that came out from him with the speaking out movement. I don't think Dream can be rehabbed at this point. Unless, unless it's just proven that he's innocent. But, again, I'm not trying to get into that here. But, Kushida, so, for me, it's Kushida. I think Kushida needs the victory more. I think he could be more valuable to NXT right now than Velveteen Dream. So, I think Velveteen Dream is dead. So, I hope Kushida gets the win here. And I'm going to go with Kushida.
Yep, so we're both going Kushida here. Do you see, hopefully, once Kushida gets this victory over Dream, do you see him sliding into a possible North American title picture or going back down to the Cruiserweight division?
I could see him going up to the NXT North American title picture and him feuding with either, feuding with either Johnny Gargano or Damian Priest. I think that would be the way to go. So I think he slides up in the NXT North American title picture because he is one of those names that should be wrestling for that North American Championship right now. There's no reason why Kushida can't be wrestling for the NXT North American Championship with people like Reed and Austin Theory and Cameron Grimes. There's no reason why Kushida cannot be in that upper echelon of guys there. So I think Kushida moves up to the North American title picture.
Very nice, very nice. So we both got Kushida defeating the Velveteen Dream in the opening match. Second match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. We do have Isaiah Swerve Scott, the challenger, versus the leader of Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar. And if you guys have not known, I am a huge fan of Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma. I am absolutely loving the work that they have done ever since Santos Escobar became the Cruiserweight Champion. He turned heel and formed this faction, and they've dominated NXT in the Cruiserweight division. And then we started this feud with Isaiah Swerve Scott, and they had a title match on the NXT after TakeOver. That match was very good, and Escobar won where he had an object in his mask and he gave Swerve a headbutt to get the victory. So that is Swerve's way out on getting another rematch, but I am loving the stuff that Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma have been doing. I made the first prediction on the last match, so Cam, I am going to give you the first prediction on this match right here.
Okay. Well, in terms of wins here, I think Isaiah Swerve Scott's winning it. I think Swerve gets Swerve gets the championship here. Swerve is over. He's one of the best they have in the company right now. And to be honest with you, I think keeping the Cruiserweight Championship on Santos Escobar is really holding him back. Man. The rumors of the Undisputed Era are, they're about to break up, where they're getting ready to get called up. If those rumors are true, then I think Legado del Fantasma can easily slide in and be the next top heel faction on that show. And in order to do that, I think you got to get Santos Escobar away from the Cruiserweight division. So I think Swerve gets the win. I think he gets the title.
Oh, this is a tough prediction. He is going Swerve. I'm going Santos Escobar. I think you could keep Escobar down in the Cruiserweight division for a little bit. You would elevate him to the NXT North America Championship, the NXT title, later on down the road. But I could see Swerve going in that division. I could see Swerve competing with the North America title and the NXT Championship. You say Escobar should be elevated to the top. I love Escobar. I love everything about Escobar. He is a great worker. He is a fantastic wrestler. I think Swerve deserves to be in that North American title picture, challenging either Johnny Gargano or Damian Priest. So on this match right here, I am going with Santos Escobar to retain the NXT Cruiserweight Championship right here. All right, next match. We got 3 more matches on this TakeOver card. For the NXT North American Championship, we have Johnny Gargano versus the champion Damian Priest. Now, this match was announced out of the water, where they made it official via social media. Johnny Gargano is going to challenge Damian Priest for the North American title at TakeOver on October 4th. And that right there, I just felt like, I don't know, man. We've seen Johnny Gargano in 2 North American title matches already in 2020. He fought Keith Lee at NXT TakeOver in your house. He fought in the ladder match at the last TakeOver. And now he's getting another match for the North American title against Damian Priest. He already struck out twice for the North American Championship. And right now, I just do not see a reason why you would take that North American Championship off of Damian Priest. No disrespect to Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano is on the Mount Rushmore of NXT. But right now, NXT, they need to invest in the future. And in my opinion, there are better opponents than Johnny Gargano who can possibly take the North American Championship from Damian Priest, such as a Dexter Lumis, who came back last night, Bronson Reed, Kushida, Isaiah Scott, Cameron Grimes. So I'm going with Damian Priest to retain the North American Championship. Cam, take it away.
I agree with you. I'm going with Damian Priest here, too. It was weird because this match, I think, even outside of the Swerve Escobar match, I think this match is the toughest match on the show to call because Johnny Gargano, since going heel, has done a whole lot of nothing since his feud with Tommaso Ciampa, which is weird for me to say because Johnny Gargano is one of the biggest stars in all of NXT. But Damian Priest, he just won. But Damian Priest, I feel like they've been very up and down with him. So I feel like they'll start to push him, and then they'll kind of stop. Well, they kind of went they went full ahead with this. They put the championship on Damian Priest in a great ladder match. In a great ladder match to TakeOver 30. Damian Priest, I think, needs to keep the championship here. And he just won the title, so why take the championship off him? Damian Priest being one of the top baby faces on the NXT brand, that's perfectly fine with me. Damian Priest against guys like Bronson Reed, Kushida, Austin Theory, Cameron Grimes. I think that is the way to go. And also, I think beating Johnny Gargano, it's not going to hurt him. Johnny Gargano in NXT is Teflon. It's Teflon. The guy can lose every big match he's in for the rest of his career down there. And he will, it won't take long to build him up as a threat towards anything. But I think Damian Priest wins here, and I think the match is going to be phenomenal because it's Johnny Gargano on the Takeover. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Damian Priest retains the North American Championship here.
Johnny always delivers on Takeover, and he puts on the best performance on the show. But I just realized this today, and I don't know if you agree with me, but in my opinion, ever since Johnny Gargano has turned heel, NXT has not felt the same, because NXT hasn't felt the same since after WrestleMania this year, and that was really when Johnny Gargano turned heel. So I just realized that Gargano, he's a good heel, but I love him much better as a babyface, man. I don't know about you, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't know if you get ready to go to the next match or not. But I agree with you on that. I think NXT is falling off more in quality due to them not having fans, and I think fans were such a big part. And I think the fans were such a big part of what made that show great because they pretty much cheered for everything that they did. It came off as they were. They came off as, they were great, they were energetic to the fans. So I think that's why. But yeah, Johnny Gargano going heel. I think that's also part of the reason why NXT has just taken a huge drop off in quality as of late. It's still a good show, but nowhere near where it used to be.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hopefully, when we get fans back, NXT will go back to the old NXT because Raw and SmackDown, I mean, Raw sucks. We all know that. Raw sucks every single week. If the fans come back or not, which they should hopefully in the future, the fans coming back is not going to change Monday Night Raw. The fans coming back is not going to change SmackDown. I think fans coming back could help NXT in a big way because if there is one brand in the world that is suffering during this time, is 100% NXT in my opinion. So, next match, NXT Women's Championship on the line. We got Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai for the Women's Championship. Candice LeRae won a Battle Royal last week to become the number one contender. I think on this takeover, she was supposed to face Tegan Nox, but unfortunately, Tegan Nox once again tore her ACL. So, thoughts and prayers go with Tegan Nox for a speedy recovery. But that's what I think. I think at this takeover, it was supposed to be Tegan versus Candice LeRae, but we're getting Candice versus Io right here instead for the Women's Championship. And as you know, Cam, last year at Takeover Toronto, these two ladies tore the house down. Io Shirai was the heel, and Candice LeRae was the babyface. Now the roles are reversed. Candice LeRae is the heel. Io Shirai is the babyface, the top babyface in the women's division. And this is for the NXT Women's Championship. This is a big match, and I'm going to give you the floor first on this match. So who do you got in this big-time matchup?
Can I say who wins here? I think Io Shirai retains the NXT Women's Championship. I think the big match for Io, where Io is going to drop the title, is Io and Rhea Ripley. I think that's the match they're building to. I think that's the match they're going to be looking for. They're going to be looking for WrestleMania weekend or the next Takeover show. And I think Io drops the belt there. So I think Io keeps it on Candice. These two women have one of the best matches, one of the best women's matches in the history of the entire company. last year at Takeover Toronto. So I am very much looking forward to this match here. So I am very much looking forward to this match here. But I think Io Shirai retains the championship. I think Io retaining is the right way to go, and it's the right way to go. I think it's the right way to go here. I think it's the right way to go here. I think what was going to happen was Tegan was going to cost Candice the match here, but with Tegan knocks me out, that's not a non-factor. That's a no factor now, obviously. But I still think Io Shirai is going to retain the NXT Women's Championship here.
Yep, I'm going to agree with you. Before last night's NXT, I would have told you that Candice LeRae is going to become the Women's Champion. But Wrestling 101 says if the challenger is holding up the championship before the pay-per-view on the weekend, the challenger is not going to win the championship. So that right there just tells me Io Shirai is going to retain the Women's Championship here over Candice LeRae. I don't know what they do with Io next. I mean, honestly, if they're building up to Rhea Ripley winning the title again, we've been there and done that, okay? WWE screwed up with Rhea Ripley on Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and if they give the championship to Rhea Ripley again, I feel like it's not going to feel the same than it was the first time that she won the championship. But this match, I think this is going to be the match of the night. I think this is going to be awesome. Just from the match they had last year, it was one of the greatest women's matches I have ever seen watching a wrestling show. And I really do mean that. So this is going to be awesome. I'm going with Io to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Are you ready to talk about this big main event here?
Let's go.
NXT Championship. We got Kyle O'Reilly from the Undisputed Era versus the new NXT Champion, Finn Balor. I did not expect, if you guys told me just after TakeOver 30 that with Karrion Kross defeating Keith Lee to become the NXT Champion, and you guys told me, hey, on the next TakeOver show, we're going to get Finn Balor, the NXT Champion, and he's going to defend the title against Kyle O'Reilly. And I would have been like, you're absolutely wrong, man. It could have been either been Adam Cole, or I thought it was going to be Ciampa. I honestly thought this was going to be Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa, but we'll get to that later on. But here we are. Kyle O'Reilly is getting his big moment against Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. And, they had a segment last night on NXT. I loved it, and it made me even more hype for this match. And before we talk about the prediction, a lot of people on social media are behind Kyle O'Reilly and actually want him to win the NXT Championship Sunday at TakeOver. To you, Cameron, I'm going to ask this to you. Does this feel similar to WrestleMania 35 and when everybody wanted Kofi Kingston to win the WWE Championship?
Yes. I want to say yes, it does, but it also to me feels very similar to 2004 with Randy Orton and Chris Benoit, but I might be getting ahead of myself there for the predictions. But yeah, it does remind me to an extent of Kofi and Bryan for the WWE title at Mania last year.
All right, I kind of got the same reference as well. I mean, Kofi had a lot of support last year at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Kyle O'Reilly is getting the same support. This is, oh man, I'm wearing a freaking Undisputed Era shirt right now. They're my absolute favorite in NXT. I want to pick Kyle to win so bad, but I just can't do it. I can't do it. I think Finn Balor retains the NXT Championship, and I think we get a breakup. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. We're not going to get the breakup because we're supposed to be getting a former champion returning on Sunday. So I think Finn Balor wins this match against Kyle O'Reilly. It'll be a great match. And then we're going to get the former NXT champion to attack Balor when the show goes off. I'm not going to say it yet because I want Cameron to give his prediction first on this match between O'Reilly and Balor.
Well, Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. I'm going to go the opposite way here. I don't think the NXT superstar that's returning, I don't think it's a male. I think it's possibly a female with the. I think it's possibly a female with with the name in it that Cameron Grimes likes to say he's going to. But we'll get that. We'll get into that later. I actually think there's a pretty good chance Kyle O'Reilly wins the NXT Championship, and they pull a similar, and they pull something similar to what happened with Randy Orton in Evolution back in 2004. Remember, Randy Orton won the World Heavyweight Championship. I think it was the next night on Raw. He comes out, he has this big celebration. All of Evolution's in the ring, they're happy for him, and then Triple H kicks him out and turns on him. I think that could be the same thing we've seen here with Adam Cole kicking him out. But I think that, but at the same time, I don't really think that would make a whole lot of sense because at this point, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, they're full-fledged baby faces. So I think Kyle O'Reilly wins here with that whole Evolution twist there. But I would not be surprised, and I would actually prefer Finn Balor retains. And if Finn Balor retains, you have a list of opponents long enough to feud with Finn Balor from the NXT Championship. You got Ciampa in the wings, obviously. You got Karrion Kross when he comes back. You have Johnny Gargano. You have Johnny Gargano. So you got a whole laundry list of opponents there. And I don't think if you're going to do a breakup of the Undisputed Era, they might not. I don't think they need the title for that. But I hope they don't break them up. Because, again, that would be a heartbreaker for me for them to break them up. I think we're undoubtedly going to get the theme song changed. They changed Undisputed's theme song after they changed everybody else's theme song. I think fans might legitimately burn Titan Tower down to the ground.
Oh boy! So O'Reilly and Cole are full-fledged baby faces, and now I want to ask you this: what does this mean for Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish? Are they going to remain the heel group of the Undisputed Era, and Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are going to be the baby faces, or are Strong and Fish eventually going to turn on Cole and O'Reilly?
I think Strong and Fish are eventually going to turn on O'Reilly. Because what sense does it make for you to have a faction of four guys and you got two guys that are baby faces and you have two guys that are heels? I don't really think that makes any sense. So I think the story is going to be. So I think they're going to do an ordeal where Strong and Fish, go out on their own and they remain the heels of the group. And I think Cole and O'Reilly are going to do the split and they're going to be the big baby faces there.
Yeah, I could potentially see that happening. I just know when the Undisputed Era break up, I'm going to become heartbroken because they're legitimately my favorite faction in the world. So before we get out of here, we are getting a mystery former NXT champion returning on Sunday. You pretty much gave it away in this last match we were talking about. So if you would like to reveal who the mystery former champion is going to be coming back, the floor is yours.
I think it's going to be Ember Moon. Based off the vignettes of them on the motorcycle, them on the motorcycle and them throwing spears and everything there. Unless Bo Dallas is getting a character even if it really doesn't fit his character. Bobby Roode's on Raw. Samoa Joe, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't know if Samoa Joe is cleared, but I don't know if he's cleared. Kevin Owens, I highly doubt they're letting him go back down to NXT. So I think I think the mystery participant's going to be Ember Moon, and they didn't say a former NXT World Champion or NXT. They didn't say a former NXT World Champion. They just said a former NXT Champion. So that could be any championship on the NXT brand. And I think it's going to be Ember Moon, and I think she's going to be going after Io Shirai for that women's championship there.
This might be out of the blue. I'm probably getting this one wrong, but I am going to go with Samoa Joe as the mystery man, just because I honestly have no idea who it's going to be, but just to say a name, I'm going to say Samoa Joe. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the NXT TakeOver preview and predictions. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who checked out the preview and predictions video. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the review on Sunday night after the NXT TakeOver show goes off the air. Leave your comments down below. I want to know your NXT TakeOver preview and predictions for this weekend. Hit that like button. If you enjoyed what myself and Cameron had to say, follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. Follow Cameron on Twitter as well at Cam71101. Cam, any last minute words before we get out of here?
No. Thank you, Joseph, for having me on the channel. Thank you, Joseph, for having me on the channel. This was a blast. I apologize. I apologize if I was stuttering at all during it or tramping over my words. That's just a force of habit with me with how I've been speaking. So I'm sorry if I did any of that here on this channel here. But I want to thank you for having me on, man. This was a blast.
No problem, man. You'll be back on here on the channel, and don't apologize over the stuttering. I stutter a lot myself as well, and you were a great guest on the channel. I'm happy I had you on the channel. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to call it a night here. I'm going to upload this, and you guys will get to see it tonight. Have a good night, guys, and stay safe.